I'm Rachel Tessman from stampyourartout.com, and I'm here to share with you my outside the box ideas that I created with the Celebrating in Color May 2022 Paper Pumpkin Kit from Stampin' Up! These kits are automatically delivered to me each month and contain everything that I need to make fun, creative paper crafting cards and projects. This month's kit contains supplies for making 10 cards that feature the stunning new 2022 through 24 in color line. 2 of 5 different designs. And the kits include a publication like this one with directions, full color illustrations, details about the kit, and a link to access a how-to video so that you can assemble the cards and projects as shown. The kits also include inks and stamps that can be used again and again, even after the consumables are used up. This May kit included a basic gray colored ink pad and this exclusive stamp set. The kits are a Stampin' Up! Product, so the colors, images, and supplies always coordinate with many other Stampin' Up! Products. I'll be using some of these in the alternate projects I create for you today. You can find the items I used listed below and linked to my online store. You can also look for links for learning more about paper pumpkin kits, starting your subscription through me so I can spoil you with exclusive ideas, gifts, and prizes, joining my Paper Pumpkin fan club on Facebook where you can see even more alternate project ideas shared daily, and if you're watching my video on YouTube, a link to my website where I've shared photos of the projects that you're going to see today. I received a large clear block in my first paper pumpkin kit to use with all my future stamps. That tool and my scissors are the only things that I really need for completing my kits as is. But you'll notice that I substitute that block for the ergonomic Stampin' Up! Blocks. I also use a larger version of the ink pad and some additional adhesive, such as my stamp and seal. You won't need these, but they are available products from Stampin' Up! And they're a bit easier and quicker for me to use while I demonstrate in my video. By the way, if you're looking for ideas for past kits, visit my website at stampyourartout.com. Click on Paper Pumpkin in the top menu and then choose Recent or Older Posts. I've been creating and sharing alternates since March of 2013 when Paper Pumpkin first began. I'm excited to create, so let's get started. The first thing that I'm going to show you today is how to take, and I love doing this, how to take the card supplies in your kit, add just a few extra envelopes and some cardstock outside of the kit, and maybe a couple embellishments, and you can take and more than double. Sometimes I triple, sometimes I've even quadrupled the cards in the kit. This time I'm going to turn 5 of the 10 cards into 13. So out of the 10 cards in the kit, you can get 26 cards. What I do to do that is I take all of the supplies and I divide them out. And basically I'm dividing the kit in half because the 5 different designs are half of the kit. So we're going to work with just half of the kit, and whatever I do with that one half of the kit, you're going to double it if you want to go ahead and get 26 cards. With the embellishments, you have kind of an odd number. You get 7 of each color, so I'm going to go ahead and just cut it in down to 3 rows. So we're going to use 3 rows of these embellishments on our 13 cards. And then we're going to bring in some black cardstock, some medium basic white envelopes, because we're going to be using the envelopes in the kit for the beautiful paper liner and using that kind of as a designer paper. And then I am going to add in some other embellishments just because I think that they're gosh darn gorgeous. We're going to be using these, which are basically the same thing that you get in the kit. These are our 22 through 24 in color matte decorative dots. You can see there's large ones and there's small ones, and these kind of act as medium-sized ones. We'll add those in at the end. And then I'm going to bring in some of these, the brushed brass butterflies. We have a gold fun accent to add to our card. And then one other item that is optional, because you could use a pencil and get a similar look, but I'm using our Whisper White, or Basic White it's now called Basic White, I'm sure, watercolor pencil from the watercolor pencil pack. And it's kind of a unique card that we're going to do for that one. In our half a pack, we have card bases. We have 2 that are decorative, 1 with a fun edge on it, and then 2 that are just plain white cardstock folded in half. We're going to keep these intact, and we're going to keep one of the plain white ones intact. The one with the curve at the bottom and another one of the plain white ones we're going to cut down. We're also going to be cutting down all of our envelopes, but we'll do that first, or we'll do that after we've cut down our basic black cardstock. And we need 5 sheets of that. One of them is going to be cut in the vertical direction, so it's going to open this way. So we're going to score it at 5.5 inches, making sure our cardstock is right up to the edge here, and this edge is at 5.5. We're going to score through the middle with our light colored blade. We're going to rotate it, and now we're going to cut down the middle in this direction at 4.25 inches. So you can see we've got 2 taller, they open this way kind of cards. The rest of them we're going to score and cut in the opposite direction, in the direction that's similar to the cards in the kit. So we're going to take and score now in the vertical direction, so score parallel to the long edge at 4.25 inches, then rotate and cut at 5.5. Let's do that for our other 3 pieces. So now that gives us, with the 10 black and the 3 from the kit, that gives us 13 card bases. So at this point, I encourage you to use a bone folder or your hand to give those all good creases. We won't be making any fun folds in this set of 13 cards, but I do have another video that's going to be coming out soon. It will post with a fun fold card in it and a fun little package treat box. I also have another video that will be exclusive featuring another fun fold card. So you'll want to make sure that you check out all the other ideas that I have to share with this kit. Of course, scrapbook pages are going to be coming probably on the 10th of June. I'll share those. Now we're going to go ahead and cut down our envelopes, and we're going to cut them down the same. You can see inside here that there's about 1/4 inch from the edge to where the color starts, and that's all we need because the dimension in this direction is 5 3/4 inches. So if we cut off 1/4 inch on each side to open up our envelope, we're left with a piece of paper that is 5 1/4 inches wide, which is a perfect layer for a 5.5 inch wide section. So there you go. It's nice and clean. We got all the white off. We're going to cut this way now. Trim that off. And if we wanted to have this as a layer, we would then, since this is 5 1/4, we would cut this to 4 inches. Don't throw away these pieces. We're going to be keeping them for one of our cards also. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to every one of these envelopes. We have them all trimmed down. Of these pieces that remain here, we will be using one. It won't be for a card though, so we're going to set that aside. And these pieces you can either keep for the fact that you have white paper, or you can toss them. We won't be using those on our alternate cards today. Go ahead and punch out all of your pieces from your negative frames. And you can either hang on to these, again, for the white cardstock that you have there, or you can toss them. Now on this one here, I saw a great tip that was shared in the Paper Pumpkin Fan Club. That's why you have to be a part of it. But you'll want to put this piece back onto your card if you're going to do them the way that the kit shows. If you lay this down on top of it, then it's easy to line up these pieces so that you get the card as shown on the flyer. So you get this look here. It'll be like a guide to help position them. So don't toss that one in case you're going to do a card similar to that. And then from the banner strips that you get, the white banners, you're going to have 2 of each of these, which is great because you don't need all of them to finish the cards as is in the kit. They gave us extra, and they gave us an extra one of these too, so yay! And I'm not going to cut these down quite yet. We'll do those as we come to them. So let's move this stuff off to the side so we can start creating. We're going to work with this piece first. And for this piece, we're just going to stamp on it because it's gorgeous as is. So we're going to grab our U stamp. in our Just For and one of our smaller banners. Then we're also going to grab this little pocket piece here. Now these are really fun. These are kind of a bonus thing that were added to the kit so that you could make a little pocket for a gift card. So if you have a gift card on hand, I recommend using that as you create so that you have the feeling of something within that pocket. That way you're not pressing it down too tight when you adhere it into your card. Especially if you have an extra unique gift card like this one that I found years ago. It matches the color, so I thought I'd use that one. So I'm going to use that to, press it inside just to make sure I have enough room. Okay, so let's first stamp on the front though, because you don't want to add your pocket and cause a bump on the inside of your card until you're done stamping or applying anything to the front of your card. I love, love, love the color that came with the kit, the basic gray. I tend to lean towards like a dark color for sentiments, either black or early espresso or basic gray like this, or like a navy or something, because I like my sentiments to stand out. And this is perfect. So we've got a nice bold neutral color. And this way, I mean, if you had one of the in colors as an ink pad in here, then it might not work with, say, if you're doing a monochromatic in another color. So it's good that Stampin' Up! Did this, I think. So we're stamping the word you, and I'm kind of off-centering it on purpose. And then I'm going to stamp the Just For. Oh yeah, that's right, I'm doing it on the banner piece. Just For on the banner piece. And I'm going to make it straight on my grid paper. That way it's easier for me to make it straight on the banner, because the banner's so tiny under there. And I also justified it to the left a bit. We're going to add this with just straight adhesive. So this kit does not come with any glue dots, but if you are a fan of paper pumpkin kits and you've collected a few, you probably have some glue dots on hand, so you don't need to necessarily invest in the seal adhesive, but the seal adhesive is nice and quick. So I've added that, and now I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to trim it up using the card edge as a guide. So there's that. And then we're going to open it up and we're going to add our pocket. We've got these tabs that you're going to fold in, and the kit did come with this adhesive. Oh my gosh, so we could have used that, I suppose, on our banner. But this is like our tear and tape adhesive. It's similar. Oh yes, it tears. And it's strong. I can feel the strength of it. So I'm glad that they gave us a little mini roll of that. If you need more of this kind of tape, we do sell it. It's called Tear and Tape Adhesive. And it's one of my favorites, especially for strength. It just gives a really strong bond. If you're making boxes, I tend to use it. I'm using my bone folder to burnish or press that adhesive into the cardstock. And now I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool to help peel away these backings, the release paper on the back side. Grab our gift card again, stick it in there, wrap all these pieces around, and we're going to center this and stick it down. Oh, you know what? I think I put it in the middle on this side. I did, because I did not have a sentiment on the inside of this card. Also, when you have the gift card within, it helps you to center from top to bottom your gift card pocket, because when you put a gift card in here, it's going to look more balanced if it's not up too high. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, there we have that. Now we can embellish this. So we're going to take our little pack of embellishments and we're going to add 3 of the green. Parakeet Party is this color, by the way. It's a wonderful color. I love greens, so this one makes me happy. All greens make me happy. Colors make me happy. So we added those, but remember I said there's also that pack of embellishments that you can get from the online store, because I feel like we didn't get enough of those. So I'm going to bring these in, and we're going to grab a large, and let's stick that maybe up here. And these are in different shades of the colors too, so you go from dark to light, so you have even more variety. a really fun look here. Let's add that one. Oops, I didn't grab it. Or, oh, there it is. Okay, let's put that one up here. And the last one, let's do another small one, maybe right down here. So there is our finished first card. So really, you don't need to do a lot for this card. I mean, I love all the cards in this kit. I love the look that they had with the banner coming through there. But you've also got all these gold dot embellishments in here that you're covering up. And I thought, why not just expose it all and just decorate it up as if it's a one-layer card with a little bit of embellishing on it. Okay, so there's card number 1. Let's bring in another simple card to decorate. Let's do this card next. This one is probably even simpler. We're going to grab, I think we're grabbing the second banner. Yes, we are. And we're going to stamp the sentiment that says, "Can do anything." And again, line it up on your grid paper. And this time we're going to stamp it right in the middle. And this is going to be popped up with dimensionals. So you get dimensionals in your kit, these little mini dimensionals. They're very fun. And you know what? You can invest in more of these as well from the online store. So if you run out, you can grab more mini dimensionals. And this little piece is just going to get set right underneath the word "you," like that. We're going to bring in those dots again and add a few of those. This time we're going to add 3 of the red and 3 of the dark blue. And then again, because I didn't feel like we got enough in the kit to expand the cards the way I'm doing it, I'm going to bring these in again. And we're going to add some light red. I'm sorry, this is Sweet Sorbet. Why did I say red? And we're going to add some Starry Sky. There we go. And then nothing on the inside of the card. You can do anything. Great for writing a wonderful message to someone. The third card will be on a black card base. What we're going to do with this one here is we're going to cut it down, cut it in half on the score line. And then we're going to cut it in half again, which would be at the 2 3/4 inch mark. And this is going to be an inside layer. We're using the card base that opens in this direction. We're going to line up and center the banner piece here, the Tahitian Tide banner piece. Such a pretty blue. And then this is going to get stamped with the "just for." And we're going to stamp that right above the word "you." And this is going to get popped up on dimensionals. So you can either use the mini dimensionals, or I have some larger ones so it goes a little bit faster when you have to put on like a larger space or whatever. So I'm just pulling out my larger ones. We're going to center that, making sure that our words are horizontal and parallel to the top and bottom edges of the card. On the inside, we're going to place this piece, and because it says "just for you," we are going to add another one of those pockets. So this will get placed here. And the pocket, the Tahitian Tide coordinating pocket, will go on the left side on the inside and sit right here. So I've got another gift card I'm going to stick in here as a guide. Let's go ahead and add some adhesive onto these little flaps. The first time we used the bone folder, we were creasing the score lines, and this time we're pressing that adhesive into the cardstock. And then the last thing is just to add some more embellishments. We'll use the Tahitian Tide. And then let's bring in a few of these. And there is our third card. Super quick, super easy, and super cute. All right, our fourth card is going to be using one of the envelope liners. We're going to stick with the color Tahitian Tide right now. Notice I've got kind of a monochromatic thing going on with a lot of these cards. I love monochromatic. Monochromatic is basically one color, different depths of the color, and then, you know, some neutral in there like the black and white. So, oh, I've already cut this down to size. Let's go ahead and grab the card base. And this is another one of our, actually no, this is one of our tall card bases, or our longer ones that open this way. So we're going to add this to the front. And we're going to stamp the word, the large word, happy. Gosh, I love this. It's so cool. You can color this in too. This is a great sentiment to color in with whatever colors you like. And coloring is calming. All right, let's go ahead and line this up with our grid paper again, because it's so narrow, so it's hard to see that I'm putting it on there straight. But if I have it on here, it helps. And I'm going to stamp that a little bit more to the left. And we're going to add that. Oh, I forgot. I was going to add that to this layer before we actually stuck it onto the card. We'll have to peel away. That's okay. Sometimes we have to fix things. So that's going to go under here, and we're centering this phrase under the word happy. If you catch things right away, you usually have good luck in getting something to unbond temporarily. Now you could use this piece for another card in the future, so don't toss it. It might be good to use later. We won't be using it on these cards, but there is that. And then to finish off for embellishment on the front, we're going to add some of these brushed brass butterflies. And on the inside of the card, we're going to add this other half that we cut from that card base. And there we have the next card. All right, I think that's number 4, right? All right, moving on. We're going to do another card that opens in this direction. And we're going to take this piece here that we punched the circle from, and we're just going to apply it directly. And then we're going to grab this one. We've got extras of these. We're going to add this one with a couple dimensionals. And again, you can use the mini dimensionals in your kit. We're not stamping on this one. Instead, I want the word you to just stand out like that. On the inside of this card, we're going to add the envelope layer. And I think, I'm looking at my finished one over here. Yes, we're going to add it so that the lighter tones of that color, the lighter shade of that color, is downward. And we're going to stamp inside with the words can do anything. This would make a great graduation card. You can do anything. And then on the front, we're going to add the remaining 3 of these guys here. But of course, I want more, so I'm adding a few more. So there is our next card, number 5. Okay, the next card, card number 6, is going to be using one that opens in this direction. And we're going to bring in the green strips. So let's take a look at all of these green strips. We have 5 of them. And I'm just going to position them so that the darker shade of the color is up top and the lighter is down below. And I think on one card, because I'm going to use these on 2 different cards, on one card I'm going to use the one that has a splatter towards the top, because I'm going to position more gold towards the bottom right, so it kind of looks balanced that way. And then these 2 we'll put on the second card. So if you want to, at this point, you could take this piece here and bring it in as a guide to help apply these pieces. So let's go ahead and add adhesive to the back side of each. And that's what I mean by using it as a guide. Now I could leave this here, except I'm going to connect mine a little bit tighter. And then the word happy we'll put up onto dimensionals. This is when the smaller dimensionals, the mini ones, come in handy because you've got tiny spaces. Another thing you can do though is if you run out of mini dimensionals and you only have the larger ones, you can take and trim the larger ones down. You can just, and I use the edges as you can see, but you can just cut them to narrower or smaller pieces. And that's going to get positioned about here. Plus we have one of these pieces here that we're going to stamp with the words, "You make me." And I stamp that right in the middle. And again, you can use the tape that comes in your kit, the tear and tape, or you can just use seal or glue to add that. On the inside, we're going to add one more quarter of the card base here. So we're going to cut this one in half again. This was the other half of that card that we cut originally. So now we have two more inside layers. And that is card number 6. The next card is going to be using this card base here for a layer, and then we're going to be using a horizontal one that opens up a little wider. I'm going to be using that for the card base, and we're going to cut this. We're going to cut this side here, not the one with the fun edge on it, but this side, and we're going to cut it down to 3 3/4 inches in this direction. And we're going to cut off a 1/2 inch on this side, so we're cutting it down to 5 inches on this side. Now we're going to take these guys and we're going to put them onto the front of this white piece with dimensionals. And I've got an even edge all the way around on this left-sided one here, so you can see that 1/8 inch border all the way around. I've done it so that the spatters are kind of going up like this, and then we're going to stamp the word happy in the lower right. And you make me right above it. This is about a 1/2 inch from the bottom. This will get added to the front of the card. And on the inside, we're going to add this fun envelope green layer. And there is card number 7. For card number 8, we're going to use a card base like this. We're going to grab, where is it? Here it is. We're going to grab this piece now, and we're going to cut this into 2 pieces. We're going to cut 2 inches off the top. We're going to save that for another card. Add this directly to the front, about 3/4 of an inch from the edge. Let's grab this second long strip here, and we're going to stamp "Celebrate Your Day." Now the words come on here. It says "to celebrate your day," but we're going to omit inking up the word "to." We're just going to ink up the word "celebrate your day." And if you're worried about doing it that way, you can put tape over here, ink up the whole thing, and remove the tape. Oh, and you know what we're going to do? We're going to trim this before we add it, because I want a little bit of a black border on the right side of it. And again, like our extra end from the other piece, you can take and save that for another card. We won't be using it on this set of cards though. So I'm just going to position that right over the top like that, and you can see there's a little bit of a black border there. Beautiful decoration on the front. Now on the inside, because we had that fun edge, we're going to take that other half of this piece here, and we're going to cut first along the score line just to omit that. And then we're going to cut 2 inches from the top here. And this will be our inside layer. So that same fun edge is going to carry over onto the inside of the card for the inside layer where we write. And we're going to position it about the same spot, about 3/4 of an inch from the bottom. Ta-da! I love this one. All right, the next card. We're going to be using this card base here. And this piece here, positioned like that. We're going to use that 2-inch layer here, the 2-inch wide layer, the word happy. Let's go ahead and add the inside layer first. That's what this is. This is going to go right across the middle. It doesn't have to be positioned perfectly, but somewhat in the middle. I noticed on this one I have a little bit of an edge coming out, so I'm going to go ahead and flip it over and use the edge of the card as a guide and just trim off the excess. Putting the seal on the back side of this, we're going to take and position this so it's kind of at a diagonal look like that, about maybe a 1/2 inch from the bottom and from the side. And that looks pretty good, so we'll stick that down. This piece here is going to get little mini dimensionals on the back side, and again, this is where they come in handy if you have the smaller ones. So I'm going to grab the smaller ones from my kit. And this piece is kind of tiny here, so I'm actually going to just cut a narrower piece from the edge. Let's bring back those brushed brass butterflies. And there we have that finished card. I think that's number 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, I'm counting the cards off to the side here. So that was card number 9. The next card uses this black card base and this piece that we had just cut. And we're going to actually stamp on that. Let's go ahead and stamp on that first. We're going to stamp on it with the same sentiment that we had used on 2 cards ago. So we're going to ink up just the words "Celebrate Your Day" and stamp that down in the lower right. And it looks like we went past the edge again. I didn't cut my cardstock for my black exact. And then on the inside of this, we'll add the Starry Sky envelope layer. I love these as inside layers because you still have a light enough space here where you can write a message. All right, that one's done. The next card uses a card base like this again, except we're going to turn it in this direction. And we have a few pockets left. So we're going to use the 2 that are very close to each other in color. And we're going to trim off right along that score line on each. And then we're going to turn it over and we're going to go right to the 2-inch mark. So we're going to go a little bit further in on this side, closer in than the score line. But that's okay because we want this to be as long as possible. So we're trimming further in on the shorter side. We're going to put adhesive on the back sides of each of these. And this time I'm going to use my grid paper sort of as a guide, so I know that I'm positioning this pretty pretty much in the middle. So I've got my lines on my grid paper giving me direction. So I've got the 0 mark going right through the middle here. We're going to add this piece like so, like that. And I'm adding it so that I still see this light purplish bluish color here. I didn't want to go into the white or the whiter areas. And we'll position that one below. Now we have this gap in the middle. Let's first trim. And that's going to be covered up by this piece. So I've covered up the score line that was positioned. I should show you. Here, I'm going to peel this off real quick before it bonds. So we've got score lines here. So I'm covering those up when I place this on here. And I'm making sure that the edges here going through here are lined up with this, the narrowest part of the words. Okay, now we're going to add a butterfly to the bottom in the middle and to the top in the middle. And there is our next card. Oh wait, we have to do the middle or the inside. That's where this piece comes in. Remember we cut that one down? We have 2 more cards left. This is card number 12, and this is the one that opens this direction. For the inside, we're going to use this envelope layer. And we're going to stamp the words "can do anything." And then on the front, we're going to add this piece. Now, this piece, it's kind of hard to tell that it's the word "you." If you want to practice, you could take a bit of scrap and practice drawing the word "you" within. That's what we're going to do. We're going to use a pencil or the white pencil, I guess is what I'm using, but you could use just like a regular number 2 pencil. But because it's a pencil, you can erase if you make a mistake. So because of that also, you need to not adhere this yet, because if we're going to erase, we want to be able to peel this away and erase. So you're going to hold this steady. You're going to start writing the word "you" within the lines, within the space. There we go. And now we can take and add this to the front of our card. And it just makes the word clearer if you can write it within. If you want to skip that step, you could. But again, because you're using a pencil, you can actually use an eraser. This will erase with a regular eraser. Let's bring the butterflies back in. And there is that finished card. So the last one is using this full plain card base from the kit and all of these envelope flaps. Now, as long as you don't lick this card, it'll be fine. So we're going to take and put adhesive on these pieces here and layer them onto each other like this. So now let's take and trim off so that we have a nice clean edge over here. And we're going to line that up on this side. So let's go ahead and trim this side as well, because this card base is 4¼ inches wide, we can take and turn this whole thing over and cut to 4¼ inches. And it's off center on purpose. I liked that look and I wanted it to be on the card this way. So we're going to have it about 1/2 inch from the bottom. Feel the edges, make sure that it lines up with your card base. Now if you have any kind of extension beyond, you can go ahead and trim that up just like we've done before. And then the words "just for" will get stamped down here. Let's trim the top here. And we had one more pocket left. So "just for," which means the word "you" is going to go on the inside. And we'll add this pocket. And there we have that finished card. So we have 13 cards from 5. Very, very fun. Remember, you'll want to invest in a pack of the medium basic white envelopes so that you can send those. All right. The only supplies that we didn't use were these 2 items here. So there was an extra strip like this, and then the U punch out. We're going to make one more project using this extra envelope piece. Remember I told you to save one of them. We're going to trim that down to 2½ inches. And then we're going to cut in this direction 5/8 inch off of each end. And that will give us a piece that is 4 inches by 2½. Notice we have this diagonal little cut through here. So we're going to add something else that has a diagonal look to it, but we're going to flip this over so that the diagonal little corners are a little bit further away from the middle. And we're going to add some diagonal corner, kind of like corner, you know, that like in the old photo albums where you have these little corner holders. We're going to make some triangles for that. So we're going to use the Tahitian Tide sheet from the 2022 through 24 in color glimmer paper, and we're going to cut a couple squares from that are 3/4 inch by 3/4 inch. And then we're going to cut each of these from corner to corner to get that fun look here. Okay, we're going to flip them over and add some adhesive to the back side. I'm putting 2 of them together because I think it's easier to add the adhesive when you can go across them together at the same time. Now we'll add them to the corners about 1/8 inch away. Maybe 1/16 inch. Just so that you have a little bit of white showing there around the outside edges. We're going to add these 2 up here also. We're also going to stamp. Let's go ahead and stamp the word "you." I'm going to stamp that about 1/2 inch from the bottom, like that, and the word "just for" on this side here, like that. And we're going to pop this onto a layer of black cardstock that is 2 5/8 by 4 1/8, so just 1/8 inch more in each direction. And then let's bring in those butterflies again. And this is now going to embellish the top of our box. So you can use this box to give something as a gift inside. You could take all of those cards that you made with their envelopes and you could give them to somebody as a gift because they would fit in there just perfectly. Anyways, repurpose those boxes, especially if they come undamaged, right? Now that you've watched my video, I hope that you can see that there is so much more to these kits than meets the eye. With just a few extra supplies and some imagination, you can go beyond and make so many more things. Want to give these paper pumpkin kits a try? They're just $23.50 plus tax per month in the US. Shipping is included. You control which months you get your kits, and there's no commitment or obligation. And by clicking on my personalized link below and starting your subscription with me as your demonstrator, you will have access to my exclusive paper pumpkin project ideas too. What's in store next month? Give your card collection a refresh with the Pick of the Crop June Paper Pumpkin Kit. Inspired by open markets, summer produce, and community, this kit will help you express your love, gratitude, friendship, and adoration. It includes supplies to make 9 cards, 3 of 3 different designs. And it includes a mini canvas shopping bag that you can stamp, color, and personalize for a fun twist on card packaging. Plus, you'll be able to purchase additional mini canvas shopping bags as well. Of course, I'll show you how to make more than that, so make sure that you have an active subscription by June 10th. Thank you for watching. It builds creativity to think outside the box. To access paper pumpkin kit ideas that I'll share in the future, be sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel and my website, because I share even more each month in other special blog posts. In fact, click on my website link below so that you can access the visual supply list and view close-up photos of all that I've shared today. I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial. Now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye.